building democracy is everything that happens before you vote and then also after you vote. Democracy is one of the main underpinnings of Isaiah. So we often talk about Isaiah's North Star is a multiracial democracy, a democracy that honors every single person's dignity.
Hi, I'm Chris Garner of the St. Paul and Minnesota Foundation, here with another episode of Corner Conversations. On this episode, we're at Isaiah, a multi-faith and multicultural organization utilizing religion as a gateway to engage people in democracy.
With Isaiah, we have been organizing with faith institutions for many years. We organize Christian institutions as well as Muslim institutions. We recognize that many tenets of our faith have called us to do good in the world and to care for one another. What we get to do is allow for people to leverage their faith as a catalyst into making more possible for other people and for themselves.
As a Muslim, doing political work oftentimes is looked at something that is not the best thing to do, but to be able to have a space where you are leaning towards your faith and what your faith calls you to do, and to really those values and those things that you care about flourish.
I think at its heart, Isaiah is built on the belief that regular people can become protagonists in the conditions of their lives and in their future. We organize independent childcare centers, actually over 600 across the state. They tend to be run by women who are sacrificing a tremendous amount. The teachers aren't paid enough, they don't have health care. So there are a set of childcare centers on the Iron Range in northern Minnesota who understood that these conditions were unacceptable, and they banded together and decided to participate in what we've called a day without childcare, where they all, for a day, they talk to the parents of the children in their centers, they talk to each other, they talk to their elected officials, they talk to small businesses in the community. And they said, we're gonna close down for an entire day to show everyone the impact that we have in this economy. It had a huge impact on our elected leaders and on that community. And since then, we've been able to win, they have been able to win more investments in childcare. The St. Paul, Minnesota Foundation has really helped Isaiah think about investments that match our values. Before our partnership with the St. Paul, Minnesota Foundation, we were not very advanced on thinking about our investments, but through this partnership, we've been able to think about how we make smart investments to grow the capacity and legacy of our organizing across the state, but also investments that are rooted in our values and who our people are. So for example, our Sharia compliant investment reflects the values of the Muslim members of our organization who don't pay interest in their faith.
And I think having an endowment that reflects the values of everyone within our organization and that doesn't alienate anyone is something that I think is really unique and shows how committed we are to a multiracial, multi-faith vision.
Isaiah has continued to be a place for me and for thousands of others to be able to have real power together. And this has become a vehicle where people get to experience power with one another, they get to build power with one another, and that creates the conditions for real hope.